Welcome to the new and fantastic video explaining more glorious and fantastic examples of what 4D things would look like to us, and maybe some other things too. So obviously I can't actually show you any 4D things, but I am going to find various 3D things and tell you what they'd look like in 2D, which hopefully will give you some idea of what 4D things would look like if we saw them. And I do not have to look far. Already, I have found a great first example. A log. So, what might this log look like? Damn bugs. So, what might this log look like to a 2D person? Well, okay, pretend I'm that 2D person. I'm standing here. What would I see? 2D people have flat vision as well as, well, they don't have, but they would have. They would have flat vision, as well as flat bodies and everything else flat. So they'd only see a cross-section of the 3D world. So if I were looking at this log, I'd see it, and I would see a circle with probably a rough outside because of the bark. But I'd see a circle. So to understand what it would be like if you had a 4D log and a 3D person, all we have to do is scale up the shapes a dimension. Now the log's 4D. So when the 2D person was looking at it side-on, when they saw a circle, a 3D version of a circle is a sphere. So they'd probably see, if there was a 4D log, the 3D person would probably see a strange barky-looking sphere. So that kind of made sense, but let's find another example. Like, how about not a tree this time? There's another tree, so maybe not a tree. I'm actually trying to find something other than a tree. Oh, looks like, what's that? Looks like, oh gosh, it's another tree. Oh hey, that's not a tree. Let's use that as our example. So let's suppose I was first a 2D person standing right there. Standing there, seeing the cross-section of the shed, first I see a pretty normal house shape, which might even be what 2D people build their houses like, so I wouldn't be that confused. I just think, okay, it's a house. Maybe it's a pretty weird house, because with no doors, but anyway, there's nothing wrong with that. Now let's suppose I'm looking at it from the corner. I see something pretty weird. I'd be seeing the cross-section of the shed going like this. Except it wouldn't just be a cross-section, it would be like all I'm seeing. So that would be getting pretty weird. And then if I saw it from this angle, it would kind of just look like a flat-topped building with a flat top, with a flat roof, even though the roof is pointed. So that would be pretty confusing. So what would a 4D house look like then to us based on what we did just now? Well, first when we looked at it side on, it would probably just look like a normal house to us, since we'd be seeing the basic shape of it. But then when we looked at it from the corner, first of all we'd notice how the building changes shape. It would still kind of look like a weird house. Then when we went to look at it from the front, we notice how the roof suddenly goes flat and gets higher, which would get pretty confusing. And it's really hard to imagine what a 4D house would actually look like, since we have 3D brains. So I just don't try to imagine, but I just generally use analogies in lower dimensions like I'm doing for most of this video, because it's a lot easier. And let's do one more example, preferably with something that I can hold this time. What shall it be? It's bound to be something in here. And I have found a racket. So, I am again going into my two-dimensional self, flat, ignorant of the third dimension. Yeah, so I'm the flat person. So, first I look at it from this angle. My vision goes like this. It's in a flat line like this. So first I look at it from this angle. I think, oh, there's a little circle there, because all I'm seeing is this part, a cross-section of this part of the handle. But then it slides along, and I'm like, wait. Suddenly there's two circles with a line between them, because I'm seeing a cross-section of this. So there's two circles, one here, with a line between them. And probably a bunch of smaller circles between them too. And then I slide it along and, wait, the circle's getting bigger. Now there's a bigger circle and it's like got weird leather designs on it. What is going on here? And what would a 4D racket look like? Well, for the part where I saw a circle, it would be a sphere, of course. So, the part where I saw this part, the racket part, I guess it would be two spheres hovering above each other. And then a bunch of smaller spheres in between, possibly a line. So it would look pretty weird if we saw a 4D thing. I think that's basically the point of this video. It would look very strange. And if 4D is time, then if we were moving past something in time, we would see it change shape. We'd see the parts that were in different times. Because a 4D creature or object could, like, the back could be one time. Say this is a 4D racket. Say the back of this racket is in the past. The front of this racket, or the top of this racket, is in the future. The middle of the racket is now. But now is moving. Now is changing. So what we'd see is, first we'd see the handle, then we'd see it split into two spheres and get smaller spheres in between. And it would shrink again, and it would change into a weird line thing. It would be very confusing and strange. And since we've never heard of anyone seeing strange morphing shapes hovering in midair, it's safe to assume that 4D creatures aren't visiting us at this time, or they may be living in the future of us. Who knows? So that was a pretty confusing video. I don't blame you if you still don't fully feel like you understand the fourth dimension. I don't. And I don't think it's possible for a human mind to actually fully understand the fourth dimension, even the idea of it. So anyway, that wraps it up for today. That was a fantastic video, and hopefully you will press the like button, and also could consider subscribing, because then you would see lots of different interesting videos that I'll make in the future, and also you can look at my other videos which I have on my channel. So, goodbye.